Well, hopefully you've enjoyed our vacation vlogs to Oahu, Hawaii. I explained at the very beginning our reasons for choosing Oahu again, which if you somehow missed the very first video, I'll just tell you again. Number one, Maui is probably twice as much money as this was, but even once we wrapped our head around that and we were okay with that, it's a much different island. It's a much different vibe. There's a lot of different things to do.
The way you do things is different.
It's very different.
It's more of you go to the resort and you pretty much stay around that area if you want to do anything. Whereas Waikiki, you got the whole beach you can walk up and down and go shopping or whatever.
Right. And now you can rent a car, and a lot of people rent cars. Yeah. We have not done that on vacation yet.
We never really felt the need to have to do it,
no,
honestly. We've stayed busy enough with other things. So
yeah, and with every activity that we get, we make sure that it includes transportation there and back.
And it is more expensive. But
it is, but I'm always so glad for it, because at the end of the night, there's nothing worse than you're just tired and
it's dark. You don't know where you're going.
Yeah, and you just it's nice to put it in somebody else's hands. They have to worry about parking. They have to worry about having that bus there. Mm-hmm. They have to worry about getting back and all that. And it's just nice to not have that burden. So I would much rather pay for somebody else to drive.
Yeah, unless you had specific places you wanted to go that you didn't, like we did the circle tour.
Yes.
If there were parts of that circle tour we had no interest in going in,
right,
and we just wanted to hit a couple spots, then driving is definitely the way to go.
Yes.
We were willing to do the circle tour, even though some of the places we'd already seen, but there was other places we hadn't seen. So
exactly,
for us, it was worth it.
Right. Well, I don't know. I was going to kind of hit through the days really quick to see if there's anything you wanted to say. Mm-hmm. The first day was a travel day.
Long day.
And it was a long day. Yeah, it is a long day, and it just amazes me that it's literally a 5 solid hours from LAX, from California to Hawaii. 5 hours out. I mean, they're really out there in the middle of the ocean. And it's a long plane ride. And I mean, that's coming from people who have sat for 9 hours going to London.
Yeah, it seems just as long.
It really does. You may, if you're going to go 5, you may, and you're thinking about, oh, should I go 5 or should I go to the UK? Don't fear it, because once you've sat there for 5 hours, you may have as well have sat there. Yeah.
The only thing I can comment about the travel is it surprised me in airports how many places are not open when you need them to be open. Like if you want to get something to eat, even though they may have 3 restaurants right there where you're going to be, they may not be open. Depending on what time you're there.
Yeah,
and
like
that.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it didn't open until like 11 o'clock.
No, it wasn't that late. But still, it was later than what we thought. Because Chick-fil-A...
It had to be after 8 because we were there at 8.
I think they opened at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
and we were there right before 8. Because I said it during the videos, the only reason I know that.
She's edited the videos.
I've edited the videos. I've heard myself say it.
Anyway, just know that just because you're going to an airport in an area that's got things to eat doesn't mean they're open to eat.
And it doesn't.
And with COVID still kind of hanging over everything and people can't get people to work, some of those stores just aren't open.
And like LAX, they have places to eat, but it just seems like odd places to us. You know, we're used to they don't have enough common things at LAX. Like you would think they would have lots of Burger King or McDonald's or like Chick-fil-A, places like that. They have a lot of different places, and it's like most people just want a freaking hamburger. You know, they just want something quick and normal everyday food, because even McDonald's, if you're vegan, whatever, they sell salads and stuff like that. But it's not common as you would think, to see places like that at the airport. And just because they may be at the airport, that they're not down at your gate. Like Delta might not have one of those on their section, and that's what we traveled through was Delta. I'm very happy with Delta though.
Yeah, I've had no problems with Delta.
No, absolutely no problems with Delta. We didn't have, you hear these news stories about people acting ugly or whatever. We didn't have any of that.
No. It's just a long day. I wanted to mention about the food go, because there was times when we got to places, it's like, there's absolutely nothing here. If we want to eat, then we're going to have to walk to the next terminal to get something to eat.
Right.
It's just be aware.
And even though there was a pizza place in LAX.
There was 4 restaurants right there next to each other, and none of them appealed to us.
Right.
There was a Kentucky Fried Chicken there though, so that was normal food, but we just didn't want.
Ashley didn't want it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We were traveling with Ashley,
Right.
and so Ashley didn't want KFC. I would have totally
But the other
KFC.
3 restaurants were oddball restaurants.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the pizza place we had on the very last day.
No.
It was called Fresh Brothers. I can eat that.
Yeah.
This was a pizza place. It only had like margarita pizzas.
Yeah, something like
And
that.
like every single kind of pizza, it was like margarita pizzas. It's like, okay, this is different because most people, some people might
That's
want other stuff on there. But yeah, it was just LAX definitely needs to up their game as far as.
And I know they're remodeling and stuff, so maybe they'll bring in some more stuff. So anyway,
and like
just something to think
as of 2023, they're supposed to have a tram. So it'll be nice. You'll be able to ride a train.
So just something to think about. You just don't think about that when you're traveling. It's like,
Right.
you're going to be traveling in the air for 5 or 6 hours, and then you get someplace and you haven't eaten because they only give you peanuts and cookies.
Now,
and when you get there and you're like, I'm hungry and there's nothing to eat.
If you went first class,
they got
a full meal.
Yeah.
They got a full meal. So we were right behind
You're paying
them.
for it though.
So yeah, exactly. So some people, we could have gone first class too, but some people prioritize that. They would rather pay more and go first class than maybe spend money somewhere else on their trip. So far, we haven't done that, but we might do that at some point because it is wider seats, they're bigger seats. You never know.
If I go first class, it's going to be to London on the British Airlines, not British Airlines, the Virgin Atlantic. They got some swanky first class.
Now they're
seats.
my very favorite. If I had to pick, I would say Virgin #1 and then Delta #2. I love Virgin and I just think they are top notch.
Yeah. All right, anyway.
So the second day, we went to the Polynesian Cultural Center, and of course we had transportation there. I absolutely think it was worth the visit. They have a lot of places to shop out front, but then there are so many sections once you get in. Somebody referred to it as like an Epcot.
It's kind of a really bad
comparison. Well, they were saying that because
the different areas
countries.
are different. I agree. Yeah, different areas.
That's the only reason they said.
But it's so different.
Yeah,
it's not what I was expecting them to have, like shops and then places you could look at and things in each area, and it really wasn't like that.
No,
they had activities you could do.
Yes.
Like one of them was like a rhythm game with these sticks, and you could play the rhythm game, and it's an activity. You do it. There were other things, making fire.
Right.
Those are activities in each area.
They had fishing.
Yeah.
They had javelin throwing.
And then they had a show in each area. So the show was every hour on the hour, all day, or for as long as they were open. And then the activities were every half hour. Every half hour.
Yeah.
So my problem with them is, first of all, they don't open until like 12 or 12:30.
Yes, I do wish they opened early.
And then they basically, if you want to go eat, you're going to go eat at probably 5. You've got 5 hours to do go do everything. Because once you've gone and eat, you're probably not going to go back out there and do any shows or anything. So it's a very small window of time you've got to do things in. I wish they would open a little earlier.
They need to open about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
really,
they open
to
at
make
8
it
or
worthwhile.
even 9 or 10 I could deal with. But yeah, something to give you a couple more hours to walk around different areas, because we didn't get to do as much as we would have liked to.
Their big thing, they like to tell people, oh, well, your ticket's good for 3 days. So you can come back for 3 days. Yeah,
that's well and good if you've rented a car.
If you've rented a car. So we got transportation there and back. So our ticket was for that. We were there for that time only because that was when we got transportation for. So if you rented a car, yes, you could totally go back for 3 days in a row. If you wanted to travel there too. It's a long way from Waikiki Beach.
Yeah, it's like...
It's over an hour. It's over an hour to get there. Yeah. So just know that, because So I think some people would look at that on a map, or they would have like these thoughts like, oh, but I'll go for 3 days in a row. Once you've driven there once and gone over an hour, I don't think you're going to want to do it again.
Plus, if you go through traffic on that highway, they've only got like 3 highways, really only 2.
Traffic is no joke on Oahu.
Heavy traffic.
Yes, it is. So we did the buffet. If you go, was it called the Gateway Buffet?
Yeah,
was
Gateway Buffet.
Listen,
it was good.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
The room is spectacular. This huge mural. It seems like it's as big as a football field.
It's huge.
And the mural goes all the way around the room. And there's plenty of seating. Of course, they seat you. But you can go up as many times as you want and get food, desserts.
You can pile it as high as you want or as little as you want.
Nobody would say anything. I thought that was totally worth it.
It was very worth it. If you don't, just keep in mind and I've said this a couple times, I'll just say it again. There's 2 different food options for that thing. You can either get the the Gateway Buffet, or you can get a luau type experience. So if you do the luau type experience, you're going to go in, you're going to watch them pull out the pig out of the ground, and you're going to get a buffet. But the food choices for that luau style food was not as varied as that Gateway Buffet.
Yes.
The Gateway Buffet had everything
The
you could possibly
Gateway Buffet is the way to go.
Yeah. The only thing that was bad, and Ashley, I didn't try them. Ashley said their chicken fingers were not good at all.
Right.
But pretty much everything else, I ate macaroni and cheese, I ate French fries, I had everything but the raw fish. The fish was good. The calamari was decent. It was kind of fishy, like fish sticks fishy, but it was good. Everything there was good. The choice of desserts were good.
And 100% honesty, I am not a buffet person. I do not like buffets. I do not do buffets. I think buffets are nasty.
They kept it really good and clean.
They did. I was impressed. This is a buffet that I'm telling you I could support and would go again because it was, they were very, very clean. They were meticulous.
They always kept food up fresh.
It was hot.
You never saw these little pans that had like one little scoop in them.
No, it was always hot, always fresh.
Yeah.
It was an impressive buffet.
Yeah, and you get so full.
And we were sitting there and I'm thinking, why can't we have something like this in our area? Something this nice.
Yeah. Because
it was that nice. It really was.
It was a nice experience.
And so how much did that cost?
I didn't know if you wanted to go through each end of it. That's fine. The Polynesian Culture Center, that includes, there's 3 of us, with the transportation, the admission to the park, for lack of a better word, the Gateway Buffet, and the Hall Breath of Life show, which was an hour and a half long.
Yes.
It was $539.
$539 for all 3 of us.
For all 3 of us and all that stuff. It was pretty much an all-day thing for the most part.
This show was an hour and a half long show.
Yeah.
That's another thing that was no joke. I mean, if you could only if you can only spend that much money on one thing, I would go to the Polynesian Cultural Center.
Get the Gateway Buffet.
Get the Gateway Buffet. Get the show. Go, and you will be set for the entire day.
And I've heard people comments saying that it's the touristy trap or it's.
I've heard one. I had one person.
I've heard that on the internet too.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I completely disagree.
Yeah,
that is ignorance. That is ignorance.
And what's funny is they're showing the different cultures and how those different lands, those cultures, how they did things. They've got buildings that were set up like the culture really had. The songs, the performances and stuff is all representative of that culture. So I don't think it's a tourist thing.
There is not.
Now, if you live there, maybe you would think it was touristy, but
I do not think at all that this is a tourist trap. Absolutely, I completely disagree with that. Like I said, that is said by people I think that have not been, and it's said out of ignorance.
Oh, I could name some places that are 100% touristy.
Absolutely, but we won't. The only thing that I would say people might think is a little touristy is the shops that you can go shopping in before you go into the Polynesian Cultural Center. There are shops. And you don't have to go in them if you don't want to.
Walk right past them.
You walk right past them. And if you consider that to be a tourist trap thing, don't go to the shop. Who cares? Just go right on into the Polynesian Cultural Center. You never have to deal with any of it.
By the way, you can go to the shops without going to the Polynesian. So if you didn't want to go in, you could just go to the shops.
Yes, yes. So a friend of mine, Bobby, her family lives right there. And Bobby has gone just to the shops, just shopping there, and then gone home. You don't have to. Yeah. So if you did rent a car and for some reason you didn't want to spend the money to go into the Polynesian Cultural Center, you could go and just go shopping. You're really going to miss out, though. I will tell you that.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
It was much more impressive than I thought it would be. They were very, very friendly.
Oh, everybody there was friendly.
They're very, you can tell that they are proud of this. It is all very well maintained. They're very, very knowledgeable about everything. It was just a really good experience, I thought.
Yeah, my only complaint was I wish they were open earlier so we could see more of it.
That's the only thing they could improve upon is they could open about 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. That way you definitely could see more shows.
Yeah. Even if they didn't open that early, like I said, even if they gave you another hour or two, I'd be happy with that. Open at 10. I'd be happy with that.
Right.
And don't go to the stores first. If you're doing this whole package,
we learned that the hard way.
We went to the stores first, and because we thought, well, we won't get the opportunity. You do have the opportunity.
Right.
Go straight into the park, do the thing in the park. Between the time where you go into the park and you need to, go to the buffet. You eat. From between the time you eat and the time the show starts, you've got about an hour and a half. You go shopping during that time.
Yeah, you can
do the shopping after you eat.
Yeah, after you eat, go shopping.
Yep. Anyway.
Okay, so then the next day,
it's going to be a long video though.
We went to the Kualoa Ranch. That is the Jurassic Park experience, and they had the.
They do other movies there too, but that's what they're known for.
Yes, they did the movie tour. They have horseback riding,
zip line.
They have ATV, horseback.
I never saw the zip lining thing. That must be further out.
I bet you it's in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I just never saw it. Sometimes we saw everything else. We saw horses, and we just never saw the zip line.
They also have an electric mountain bike tour.
I never saw that either.
Didn't see that either.
No. They've got a little map of where all the activities are, though.
But we took 3 tours, and on each tour we were riding in a different type of vehicle.
We bought the package is what we bought. When we paid for it.
Did you not write it on your thing?
It's the
Jurassic
Kualoa
Adventure
Ranch
tour?
experience.
Oh, okay.
But it's just packaged. Basically, you get 3 tours in that one package, and you got lunch.
Right. Yeah, we did get lunch.
It was decent. It wasn't the best lunch ever, but it wasn't bad lunch. But we've had worse, trust me.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with it. It was a buffet type style lunch. It wasn't anything like, of course, the Gateway buffet.
The choices weren't as big.
But there was plenty for us to eat.
Yeah. Ashley's a picky eater, and she ate.
Yes, and they have like if you wanted to add to your meal, they have even a little like a fresh market next to it that you could have bought stuff from and added it to your meal if you had wanted to. They had dessert. They had an apple crumble for dessert.
They had a little diner too, so you could go get food in the gift next to the gift shop. That you could just buy food if you wanted to buy.
The bad thing about that is though, so like say you didn't get the buffet, the only bad thing about depending on that diner is it's small and
they weren't open very long either.
There's a ton of other people that didn't get that buffet, so guess where they're all going to eat? Yeah. They're all going to eat in that.
Yeah, because you couldn't go to the farm buffet unless you bought the package.
Right. So I was glad that we had bought it. That way we had it taken care of.
That's right.
Didn't have to worry about it.
I like an all-inclusive package. That's why when I book these tours, I try to find something that gets you there, takes care of you while you're there, and gets you back. That's what I look for when I look for these.
I'm thinking Kevin might like Benidorm. I might have to convince you to go to Benidorm. Anyway.
Let me just tell you how much this costs because you would want to know. The ranch experience was a little bit more than Polynesian. It was $565.29. But it was actually longer.
It was very long.
I guess no, because we left about 3 o'clock. So it's probably about the same amount of time.
You think so?
Yeah, time-wise. Because we left later.
We left earlier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It takes about the same amount of time to get to the ranch as it does the Polynesian. Ashley and I laughed harder on this
bus.
Listen. This bus.
We thought our spines were going to come out of our bodies.
This bus was so bumpy, and I've got my camera and I'm vlogging out the window, and it's going like this out the window, and Ashley is just rolling because she's like, I don't know why you're filming, because nobody's going to be able to watch that, because I'm trying to get it.
Oh, big bumps too. I mean, like slamming down bumps.
And they have a time. So they leave everything is scheduled to show you.
They did an excellent job with.
They did. But they're meant to get you out at a certain time and get you back at a certain time. But for that reason, if they're running a little bit behind, well, guess what? They're going to book it back. They're going to book it back. So the trip I'm talking about, he was booking it back, and he didn't care. Well, we were also sitting in the very last seat of the bus.
In the back.
It
was like our big school bus. This one was.
If you don't want to bounce, don't ever sit in the very last seat of the school bus. It's the worst. And we were back there. We were all over the place.
Oh, it's literally painful a couple of times how hard some of.
But I had the best time. It was a good tour
too. You got to see a bunch of stuff, movie stuff. Yeah, you walk through the bunker.
That bunker,
all kinds of
the World
stuff.
War II bunker was amazing. We were there were at times that we were like up on the edge of these cliffs, and you're looking down and you're thinking,
that wasn't the movie tour. That was the other.
No, that was another tour, but it was still there at the ranch. And you're thinking, one false move, and you could tell it had rained. It was wet, and I'm thinking, what if the mud just slid? And if we just went just a little bit, we'd be like off the edge of this cliff. But it was a good time.
It was a good time. We did the farm tour, which is going through the farm and looking at how they're doing food and stuff like that, which was still interesting.
Yes.
We did the jungle tour, which was the bumpy one that's on the edge, basically.
Yeah.
And with the hike, by the way.
And we did the extra hike. Listen.
And then let me tell you,
there should be a warning.
And then the movie one.
Yeah.
The movie tour.
The movie tour.
The jungle trek with that hike. That hike, it was not very long.
He's like, oh, it's a 5-minute hike.
It was steps all the way up. I thought I was going to die. It was almost as bad as Diamond Head. And there were people behind me, so I felt pressured to walk fast.
That's the bad thing. It's like we somehow, I don't know how it happened, but we seemed like we started first.
We did.
When you get in the front, you're leading, and people behind you, you've got to keep going because you've got young people behind you. They don't want to stop.
Hey, the people behind me were huffing and puffing just as much as I was.
And there's no place to stop and let people go around you. It was narrow.
It was kind of treacherous in some areas.
There's no place to hold a handle.
Yeah, it had rained. It was kind of slippery. They had like wood and then dirt behind it, and so you were stepping up on the dirt. I said at one point, who had the brilliant idea to put the old out of shape man in front of everybody? Because I'm going as fast as I could.
But it's a memory.
It's a memory.
It's a definite memory. I'm glad we did it now.
Yeah,
but
the view was really pretty.
Do it again.
Yeah, the view was really nice.
Okay, so
I think that was worth the trip. I think that was worth the money.
I definitely think it was.
If you want to do the Jurassic tour, that's great. Now, if you want to do like the zip line, the horseback riding, like ATV, whatever, all that other stuff was, you have to book those separately so they don't come. At least I didn't see them in packages. So if you wanted the package with the lunch, you had to do the more family friendly, wouldn't you call what we did? More family friendly.
We did a very family friendly one.
You have to do family friendly tours. If you want to do zip lining and more adventurous stuff, that would be individual, and you don't get the buffets. I mean, you don't get the lunch. So
at least
I didn't see them.
I think any age could do the one we did. Just when they tell you, hey, you could take this extra 5-minute hike, don't go. If you're older, don't go, because
it's like steep steps.
It's something, let me tell you. And that's coming from somebody. I don't consider myself.
You're in pretty good shape though. You walk a lot. I don't walk at all. And
yeah, but I'm saying I was like.
Yeah, she was breathing just as heavy as I was. And so was Ashley.
That's what I'm saying. So just don't do that part. But if you got this package, you'd be completely safe.
Yeah, you do bounce around a lot though. So if you're pregnant or have like a head injury or something like that, or back injury, they tell you not to do it.
Yeah.
That's why. You're going to bounce all over the place.
You're going to bounce.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next day, day 4, we went to the Paradise Cove Luau. So basically, we hung out at the ocean a lot. And some of these other days, we went to the ocean too, and I didn't say.
We did a lot of morning ocean trips. Which
did.
was nice. It was really nice in the mornings because it wasn't super busy down there.
It wasn't.
And not hot.
It's not super busy. And there's more of the beach in the morning because the waves haven't had a chance to come in.
The water rises higher up in the shore.
Yeah, so if you go out and spend your mornings at the ocean, then you can spend your afternoon doing whatever you want to do, and you've avoided a lot of the people. Not that the people minded us. We always had plenty of room. But we went to the Paradise Cove Luau.
And the only reason I booked that one is because once I realized that the Polynesian wasn't a luau style show, I wanted to do a luau. We wanted a luau.
So
I booked this one. And now that you've done the Polynesian, would you book another luau, or would you think that'd be good enough for that show and stuff?
I think you would be just as happy to do the Breath of Life and the buffet. And if you do the Breath of Life show and the buffet at the Polynesian, you do not need to.
I don't think you do. Now, if you've never been to a luau ever in your life,
then I think you'll want to
book a luau.
Book a luau.
But if you've done a luau, then do the Polynesian.
And I said this in one of the wrap-up videos, and I'm going to say it again, because there is somebody on YouTube who says all luau's to me are the same. They are absolutely not the same. They are not equal.
Even just the things they do during the shows.
Completely, no. Each one has their own things. They have their own singers who may or may not be wonderful or not. You know, they have their own fire shows. Some fire shows are better than others. Costumes are better than others. I'm glad we did the Paradise Cove. However, I would not recommend it. And there are several different things that they could improve upon. The way that
they've been doing it for ages.
They've been doing it for like a long time. For a long,
like 30
long
years
time.
or something ridiculous.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a long, long time. One of the things that I do not like that they do is the way that they have things going on kind of all over the place instead of in one central location. So if you wanted to see them bring the pig out, you had to be in this one particular spot at this particular time. So if you were in line getting something to drink,
which is another thing we could change,
then you just missed it.
Yeah.
You missed it. If you wanted to, they have like a 10-minute session where they teach you how to hula. Literally it lasts 10 minutes. That's in a different section. Once again, if you're in line to get a drink, you ain't going to learn how to hula because you're in line and you've stood there for 20 minutes to get a Coke.
And they had these 2 little games that you could do. They were really cheesy little games. I mean, really.
They were.
It was a spear throw, which was, I swear it was a sharpened broomstick. And thrown into hay. I swear that's what it was because me and you both did it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
One was like a plunger size stick for kids, and the other one was like a broom handle size stick for an adult. And they were literally broom handles. And the bowling, which was a stick and a, I don't know, rock or something, and you threw it at this thing. It was just, it was kind of ridiculous. I don't know. And once I tell you the cost, it may even skew you more.
But one of the things that I would say they need to improve upon is they should wait until the show starts. Bringing the pig out should be part of the show. Yeah. That should be the beginning of the show.
Yeah, walk between everybody.
Last year we went to Sea Life Park.
Yeah, Sea Life Park.
Last year we went to the Luau at Sea Life Park. It was part of the show. They brought the pig out. Everybody's sitting there. Everybody gets to see the pig. So Paradise Cove, I wish they had done that. If they were going to bring the pig out, I wish that had been the beginning of the show. If they're going to teach you how to hula, I wish that had been part of the show.
And it was part. They remember they got people to stand up and
that
dance.
That was at Sea Life Park.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
at Sea Life Park, that was part of the show. And there was this guy who climbed a tree at Sea Life Park. Everybody in there could see him. If you are going to go to a luau, I highly, highly, highly recommend go to Sea Life Park.
And we can't comment on the food at Sea Life Park because it was during
COVID.
right at the end of COVID, so we got box food. It was already made for us in a styrofoam container. So, but now they have a buffet, so you can do the buffet.
And then one other thing that they could improve upon, well, two other things.
The drinks, for sure.
At the Paradise Cove, they need to have different lines. If you're a drinker and you're going to get a mixed drink, they need to have a different line for those people. We were literally in a line for half an hour
to get a
Coke. And why are we in line that long? Because everybody ahead of us is ordering mixed drinks, and they have to blend the ice up in the blender and do the fancy colors and stuff like that. We just wanted a Coke, you know?
As you said, the beer and Coke line should have been at least one or two lines by themselves, because you can pour out beers and Cokes really, really, really fast.
All day long, you can pour them out quick. Whereas mixed drinks, let those people stand in line if they want a mixed drink that bad. I should not have had to stand in line that long to get a Coke.
No.
And
they did have water and tea. You could just get anytime for free. That was the only thing free. And you get money on these little cards that covers like a couple drinks. I don't know. The
only other thing I would say that they can improve on too is to let you know when the show's going to start. They kind of just start and you don't know what's starting.
So you're in line for a drink or something, or you went to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, if you went to the bathroom and started. And at one point they told us there's going to be a 15-minute intermission. It lasts
all 5 minutes.
It was not 15 minutes, not even close to 15 minutes. And then they just start back up. There's no sound, there's no nothing that lets you know when things are going to start and stop, so you might miss it.
There's definitely things they can improve,
but I wouldn't recommend you all do that one anyway. Go to Sea Life Park.
It was bigger too. There was a lot more people there. The scenery from behind it wasn't as good. It was mostly stage is all you saw, whereas at Sea Life Park we actually could see the stage, but then you saw the ocean behind it. It was
beautiful.
Just the way it was set up.
It was just set up different.
Paradise Cove, now remember, Polynesian, we got the food, the buffet, the show, everything was $5.39. Paradise Cove was $5.55. It was more expensive.
Oh wow!
Than the Polynesian.
Yeah. See, if you have the money between those two things,
and the food wasn't as good,
go to the Polynesian.
Yeah, go to the Polynesian.
Yeah. Okay, so we did that. Then the next day we went to Rock-A-Hula. So I think,
which is kitschy, kind of Vegas style kind of show.
But you know what? I'm glad we went.
Tammy smiled and giggled and laughed the entire time Elvis was on.
Listen, this...
He did that. She would die like that.
It was...
But that's what Elvis did, you know.
It was something I can see, and I haven't even said this to Kevin, but I can totally see where these women who used to see Elvis in concert, I can see how they would start crying. How the emotions would come up with them.
And stuff. Michael Jackson too, for that matter.
Start crying. Because when he got up there on stage, and I mean, he was really singing the songs. He was really singing it. When I saw him up on stage, I thought, this is how women felt during those concerts. And it just, I knew it wasn't Elvis. But it thrilled me to death to get to see this guy.
The guy that did Elvis did a really, really good job.
Such a good job.
And he came out in the audience. I was quite impressed with. He was singing one of the songs. Maybe "Love Me Tender" or something. I don't remember what song.
No, he didn't sing that. No. He sang.
There was one. He was one that he was singing that he came out in the audience and was talking. And he gave out the
Suspicious Minds.
He was giving out the scarf to the women and giving them a kiss on the cheek while he was down there.
Yeah.
When he was doing that, I was impressed that he was carrying on the song and he was talking and saying, "How you doing? Lovely to see you. Great to have you."
I love that.
He was a great performer. Now the Michael Jackson guy, I think he was lip syncing some of that because I don't think he was singing some of that.
The Michael Jackson.
He was scary.
Okay.
Like a goat. Like gray. They didn't make him look white. They made him look gray. He was scary.
The Michael Jackson guy, when we were there, when we were in the concert, I thought he sounded pretty good. When I got home and I was editing the videos, I thought, he doesn't sound that great.
No, he's awful.
He didn't sound that great.
And the few times I thought he did sound good, it's like, I'm pretty sure that's a backtrack where it's not really him singing over that part. It's the backing track you can hear through him.
He Now, I was going to say he looked fine from a distance. That's a lie. He didn't.
He looked better from a distance.
He looked better from a distance, but he looked scary as can be.
It looked like he had thriller makeup on the whole time.
I don't know why.
Like zombie makeup.
They had like literally like white, like.
Oh, it was gray. It was white. It was scary. It looked like zombie makeup, literally. And then Tammy got a picture of him up close after the show. Most frightening thing ever.
I didn't put it in the video.
Oh, horrible picture.
Because it's the most horrific. It's scary. It's like, I literally brought that up on my phone and I would just laugh and laugh and laugh because it was still
entertaining though. I think it was
so
definitely
scary.
Entertaining, but
it was an entertaining show. And there was this girl that was sitting down from us, and Ashley poked me and she said, she's lit. She said you watch her, and this girl had been drinking, you could tell. And so Michael Jackson was up there and her head would roll. So she would get into these songs and her head would just roll, and I mean she was into it. I think it was a fun show. They could do a few little things to improve it, and that is to make it all popular songs. Like they need to add more, like.
Now keep the Elvis songs though.
They need to keep Elvis. They need to keep Michael Jackson, but they need to add in some like Britney Spears or Beyonce or somebody like that. They need to add in some more popular music and then take out the songs that are not so popular is the only thing I would say. I definitely think it was worth going to one time.
Yeah, it was that show. We did a show only for the three of us was 207.
And you could have done a buffet there. We decided we wanted to eat what we wanted to eat.
Yeah, you could have done actually a full like luau kind of thing there.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a Vegas-y kind of luau, so I don't know what it would have been like.
You just need to know.
I didn't look into it deep enough to be on the show.
That it's kind of like.
It's kitschy and tacky, and it's
still
fun. It was still fun.
Okay.
If you got an evening to waste. And you got $207 you don't mind spending, I think it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a one-time thing that I'd never go back.
That's true. The next day we went on the Grand Circle Island tour. You said you bought our tickets through Viator?
I think so.
Like Viata?
Yeah, it was them and the Rock-A-Hula show. I booked both of those through the same company.
Okay, I think it was like called Viator. Yeah. Kevin and I talked about it during the
There's different travel companies that book this stuff. You don't go to like the Rock-A-Hula. You don't book at their website. You just do it through the travel. Now the Paradise Island, or not the Paradise Island, the Polynesian. I booked through the Polynesian website. It was so much easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last year we did a Circle Island tour. Don't go to that one.
Food one.
Yeah, don't even do the Circle Island, the Island Circle tour, the food one from last year. Ignore that. Ignore that it happened. This is the one you want to go on. This deluxe bus tour, Grand Circle Island and Haliwa, it was terrific. They did a great job. It says Royal Star Hawaii.
That's who actually did the.
It was a deluxe bus. It had a bathroom on the bus.
It was a nice big bus.
Last year we did not have.
No, it was a little bitty bus last year.
This was a very nice plush tour bus. They give you this pamphlet and they show you where you're going to be stopping for a little while so that you'll know where there's different places to eat lunch. You actually have choices where to eat on this tour, whereas the one we went on last year, you were stuck going to one place, and we did not like that one place. So
it was the food was included, but none of us really enjoyed it.
I did not eat that. It had the shrimp with the heads on it. They were looking at you.
Garlic shrimp.
I did not want.
You know, a lot of people really get into that. Like that's a big thing. But me, no. I just no.
I like shrimp, but I don't want it looking at me.
You want it fried, deep fried, and popcorn shrimp, or you just eat it.
Yeah.
And the legs are on it.
But I don't want the legs. Yeah, I don't want it to look like a cockroach. If it looks like a cockroach, I'm not touching it.
That's true.
So I did not like that. But now this year, this tour went to the Helena Blowhole. It went to the
some of the
Photo
places.
Temple, the North Shore. We went to Dole Plantation this time, which we didn't go on the tour last time. We actually went on our own last year.
It's worth going there one time. Dole.
Dole's a one-time thing.
Yeah, if you go the second time, you're going to be like, what am I doing here again?
Dole is a tourist trap.
100%. Dole's a tourist trap, and that macadamia nut farm is a tourist trap.
Yes, there is a farm. It's called Tropical Farms, I think. All of these circle tours go there.
Yeah.
If you go on one of these tours, you're going to go to the macadamia nut farm, and they say you're going to learn how macadamia nuts are harvested. No, you don't. They don't teach you anything. They don't show you anything. It's basically an opportunity for them to sell you macadamia nuts.
Yeah. The Kualoa farm, whatever Kualoa.
Yeah.
Their farm tour
Kualoa,
their farm tour actually showed you more about how things are produced than anything.
The Jurassic Park one, yes.
Yeah.
That being said, though, this was a really nice tour.
We weren't at that macadamia nut place very long either, so
you're
that was
only
a good
there.
thing.
You're probably there 15 minutes total, so it didn't matter that we had been there last year.
Yeah. It's long enough to try some coffee if you wanted to, buy a couple things, then get back on the bus.
And that's it.
Maybe go to the bathroom if you need to.
But that...
but Dole definitely is a touristy trap.
Dole is definitely a tourist trap, but we were only there for like 20...
There was long enough if you wanted to stay in line and get a Dole Whip, you probably could have just done that.
Right.
If you had somebody that was interested in looking at the souvenirs, make one person stand in line, have the other person go look at souvenirs, and then by the time they get done looking at souvenirs, you'll have your Dole Whip because there's a line.
Right. So how much was that tour?
The circle tour North Shore was $375.
$375.
And that was pick up the tour and then bring us back.
Now.
But it didn't include food or anything. Well, that one donut in the morning.
They got one donut. Yeah, Ashley and Kevin tried the donut. If you might wonder, why didn't I try the donut? Well, because we had just eaten. We had eaten. There was a little coffee shop in the downstairs of our hotel, and we had just eaten there. I wasn't hungry. I was surprised that Kevin and I.
The only reason I ate is because it was different. It was there.
Yeah, it was something different, but they both really liked the donut. So the Grand Circle Tour, though, we've been to Oahu twice. We've been on 2 circle tours. So do I feel the need? Would I do it again? No.
Yeah.
I've done the tour. I've done the circle tour.
Honestly, we could have skipped this one completely, except it went to the temple and stuff, which we hadn't been to before.
Right. And I thought that was cool that it went to the temple and that Ashley got to go to Dole. We also did not go to that... the shave ice, we didn't on our last circle tour last year. We didn't have enough time for shave ice, so this time we stopped for shave ice.
Best thing ever. Definitely recommend that.
Awesome.
If you do rent a car, drive there, get one,
get the shave
and then
ice.
leave.
Yes,
you'll be happy.
You will be so happy.
It's excellent.
Yes,
and then, get it with the condensed milk because you would be. It doesn't really add a lot of like flavor, but it adds a creamy kind of sweetness to it. It's very, very good.
Yes. Then on the 7th
and that was cheap too. $375 for all 3 of us. That's pretty cheap, I think.
$375. Oh, that's not bad.
$345. I'm sorry, $345 for all 3 of us to do on that circle tour.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Pretty cheap.
Shopping the next day, we went shopping all day long. We went to the mall.
Don Quixote.
We went to Don Quixote, and that might have been. I might be getting my days confused, but sometime during that time.
It was all kind of shopping all together. Yeah.
We went to the mall. We went to different, did some different shopping, and of course, you have to go to the mall. That Ala Moana shopping
center. Yeah,
you have to go there. And Don Quixote is right behind.
And we didn't hit a tenth of that mall.
Oh no!
Even the last time we went, we went there 3 times. I still don't think we hit a tenth of. No. They're so big.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like last year when we went to the mall, we went to the food court and everything. This year,
we didn't walk into the food court.
No, didn't even walk in there. And there were some places that would have been great to eat, and I'd even written down some places. But we had eaten or something. Mm-hmm. We just weren't.
That was our goal to go there. We had very specific stores we wanted to go to.
Yes.
We weren't actually shopping. We were just going for specific places.
Right.
And one time we did go twice.
Yes.
One time we took the trolley,
Yes.
which is $5 per person.
Yes.
The bad thing about the trolley is you do have to wait because it only picks you up every half hour.
Yes.
And you have to make multiple stops before you get there.
Yes.
The second time we took an Uber,
Yes.
which Ashley paid for.
And it was $11
It was
there and $11
so
back.
$22. So you figure $15 for all three of
Plus
us
tip.
with the bus. Yeah, you had to add the tip. So $15 for all three of us on the trolley, which takes longer, or you can get there directly and get back for $22 plus whatever tip you leave.
Right.
So, which would you rather do?
Oh,
The
I'd
Uber?
rather do the Uber.
Yeah,
the
Uber's
Uber's
nicer.
nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to spend the money and you don't trust Uber, then the trolley's nice too.
The trolley's nice.
This takes longer.
Yeah, Ashley had not been, when we went to Don Quixote last year, she didn't go with us. And so she went with us this time. And I think she enjoyed it. I think for her,
She enjoyed it, but
it was a one-time thing.
And for me, honestly, it was a one-time thing for me. I wouldn't go back.
I saw it different this year than I saw it the first year. The
first year was all like,
it's
wow.
like, wow, this is Disney. This time, it looked different to my eye than it did last year because I saw things in there. It seemed more like an Ollie's to me.
Like
a discount place.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Plus they have foreign things too that they've gotten imported in. Too.
Yes, but it seemed like to me like, oh, I've seen that at this and such place, and I've seen this at this place. It looked like things that I had seen on discount, and like it had been marked down at this place. Although I still think they have a lot of cool things.
They do, and especially if you want stuff from like Japan and stuff like that, they have tons of that.
And if you live there, it would be awesome to be able to shop there because I pointed out during the video they have so many ice cream brands and stuff like that we don't have here. I've never heard of. That if you live there, you can go through and try all that. Whereas we didn't get an opportunity to do that.
Oh yeah, while we were doing souvenir shops, there were some ice cream sandwiches that we were dying to try, and they had like 4 or 5 different flavors,
Yes.
and we would have loved to have tried them, but you just can't.
No. So
not unless we did it like we did in London that time, or in Wales, where we actually sit on the
ate
sidewalk
on the
and
sidewalk,
ate it,
yeah.
which is not the best videos.
Well, we did that last year with Leonard's. We sat on the
That's
side
true.
of the road.
And that was awkward too.
It was awkward because there's traffic going by you, and you do. Well, that's how we reviewed that shave ice. When we were
the shave ice was a little bit more better.
We were trying that shave ice though. There was really nowhere to sit.
There was a line with literally from us to this camera in front of us.
People were literally right next to us while we're talking about that. So
we just said heck with it.
The shave ice. Oh, I don't care. I'm never going to see those people again. I
think
I've gotten to the point where I literally could care less.
Well, people are expecting you to videotape stuff when you're on vacation anyway.
I think that too. See. When
you're at the local Kmart, they're not, or the Kroger, they're not expecting you to be taping. But if you're on vacation areas, they're expecting.
Well, and that's something that's very, very common now that I noticed throughout our whole trip. Everybody's taking pictures of their food.
Yeah.
When you look
order
over,
a cheeseburger and they're like,
everybody, young and old alike. I don't care how old. People are taking pictures of their food.
Yeah, or taking selfies with their food.
And yes, and so, or taking selfies of themselves and making funny faces in the camera and stuff.
Well, I saw some people getting that ice cream that had the shaka on it.
Yeah.
They were holding it up going, stuff like that.
So, I mean, it's something to like, I don't worry about vlogging as much anymore because it's like everybody does it. And if they don't know what I'm doing, I just don't care. It's like, well,
it's not that big a deal anymore.
No big deal.
So we had fun shopping. It was a good experience. The mall's nice. C's is always good.
C's candies.
Yeah, that It's Sugar was cool. They had every kind of candy you could possibly imagine.
And I'm sure I had people devastated that we did not go to the Oreo Cafe. Of course, we were right there. We saw the Oreo Cafe twice.
Yeah.
The second time we were at It's Sugar
because we went a couple people there.
Yeah, we could have absolutely gone, but we weren't hungry. And if you're not hungry,
they look like just regular like Oreo milkshakes, and
that's all it looked
That's
like.
what they look
if
like.
If you've had the Oreo Blizzard at Dairy Queen, it didn't look any different. I don't think it was any more special. No. And they have those at other places too.
Oh yeah, they got cookies and cream usually, and they got Oreo.
No, I mean they have Oreo cafes. That's not the only Oreo cafe. They have Oreo cafes because I saw a picture. Some other like states has Oreo cafes and everything, and you wouldn't know that. But it's not that big of a deal.
It didn't look like that big of a deal.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Yeah. So, but then the last day, of course, we were traveling home again.
Which is so weird because we went from Hawaii to East Coast, basically, Eastern time zone. So you're traveling back in time, kind of, and it seems like it takes a day and a half. When in reality, it only takes like 12 hours. It's just weird how the time works.
It is.
It's so odd.
I was really glad, though, to get the long plane ride over with first.
Yeah.
It was nice because it went long to medium to short.
Yeah, and very short. By the time we got to the one going from back to Lexington, it was like, that was nothing.
It's like nothing. It's like a bathroom break.
Yeah, that 1 hour flight was like,
yeah, it's like nothing. Yeah, hop, skip, and a jump. Yeah. But I mean, it's nice to do it that way when you're coming back home because you're so tired and you just want to get home anyway that's the way to do it. Once again, though, I have no complaints.
No, Delta did a good job. No problem with luggage. No problem with check-in.
No.
We did have to pay $30 per bag check bag.
I was gonna say we paid.
I do, but I was just gonna mention about the check bag. When we fly to London, they include one free check bag because it's international. Mm-hmm. Domestic flights, you have to pay per check bag, so it just costs money.
Right. And then we also had to pay to park the car.
Yeah, parking the car overnight, long-term parking.
How much was that?
Okay, long-term. You want to go into more detail?
Yeah, let's go into more detail.
So long-term parking, just to park the car for what, 8 or 9 days? I think it's 9 days. Was $110.
$110.
And that was not for the fancy in the garage parking. That was just for
so you have to determine maybe you could take an Uber to your airport and then an Uber back. That'd probably be cheaper than
for you how far away you live.
If you live in town with your airport.
Yeah. For us, it would cost us a fortune to drive.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's parking. Luggage again was $30 per bag, and ended up being $120 going and coming because we had 2 bags both ways. You want to know the flights? What do you want to know next?
Yeah, let's go for it. We'll give you the breakdown of the cost.
The flights, each person. Now we did do Delta Comfort Plus, which is it's not first class. I don't even think it's technically business class. Cause I think business class you get a free drink or something. Right. But it's better than main cabin because it's a little roomier. The seats are bigger.
The seats are bigger.
Just be careful where you sit because if you sit with something in front of you, you don't get.
We learned our lesson.
You don't get the nice TVs and stuff. They come out they flip up and stuff.
Yeah, I will not do that again.
Make sure there's a seat in front of you, not something else.
I don't want to be in an exit row.
No.
I don't want to be in an exit row, and I want to make sure.
Just make sure there's a seat in front of you. You'll have no problem.
Yeah.
Just get a seat in front of you, no problem at all. So that was $1,952 basically, 99 cents, $51.99. So $1951.99.
Okay.
So for all 3 of us to fly was $5,855.97.
Okay.
So that's just the flight.
Right.
And Delta Comfort for us is worth it.
Yes.
If you don't want it, especially when you're taking 5-hour flights, it's 100% worth it to us.
Yes.
If you don't want to, save $300 per ticket and do regular cabin. That's probably about how much it was. It's about $300 per person. Mm-hmm. So what are you talking about? $900? It saves you almost $1,000 right there.
Yeah. To me, it's worth it. And like I said,
you know what? It may have been just $300 total. I can't remember because they break it down.
I think it was $3 total.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was $100 per person.
At some point, I probably will go for first class.
Yeah.
I mean,
and at one point in time, we would have said, I'm not spending that extra money for Comfort Plus.
Right.
But once you've done it and you realize, and you've set for 5 hours, because we've set in a 9-hour plane ride to London in a main cabin.
Oh gosh, it wasn't our fault.
It was because they canceled one of our flights and we had to rebook.
Yeah, because trust me, I wouldn't have booked.
It was awful, so I would never do that again.
No.
Plus, I'm not a skinny person anyway. I like to spread out a little bit. So.
Yeah.
So that was our flight down there. Luggage, parking, the hotel. We did get an ocean view. Mm-hmm. So it was $4,404.64. Mm-hmm. But that includes tax, resort fees, tree fees. That was actually what we physically paid to stay there for 7 nights.
And if I had to recommend a place, this is the
Excellent
place I would.
and get the ocean view.
It's nice.
Get the ocean
It is
view.
a very, very nice hotel.
And when you can walk, get on the elevator, go down, walk out a set of doors across the street, and you're at the ocean, you can't beat it. I mean,
No, it's
because some of those hotels were like a block away.
Yes. Yeah, it's
and
absolutely.
could barely see the ocean.
Yes, it's a gorgeous view, and it's a nice hotel. It's a
super
very,
friendly.
very nice.
Check-in
yes.
was a little slow, but they were really busy that night when we checked in. But
Yes.
but even then, once you get checked in, be patient. If they're working as fast as they can.
It was probably
it was
maybe
fine.
it might have been half an hour, if that.
But still, it wasn't even.
No.
We've waited longer checking in at Disney back when we had to check in at Disney before.
Right.
So then I told you about the experiences. I can run down them real quick if you want. Do you want me to go down
Sure.
again? 560. I'm just going to give you the whole numbers. 565 for the ranch. Polynesian was 539. The North Shore tour was 345. The Rock-A-Hula was 207. Paradise Cove Luau was 555. We did do transportation from the airport to the hotel and the hotel to the airport. It was, for all three of us, it was $132.
I do think if you got an Uber, it would be cheaper. However, you have to make sure your Uber's big enough for all your luggage.
Yeah, you have to get
us
extra large or whatever.
Yeah, with us having 3 people and all
I don't
our
know that it would
luggage,
have been cheaper.
You don't think it would have been
Because
cheaper?
we went to that one place, the Dole Plantation. It was $50
Yeah.
to go, and you're going to the airport, which is not as far, but
The
it's still
airport's
pretty
not
far.
as far.
I don't know. You do whatever you want to do. We did Roberts Hawaii Airport transfer. Same people we used the last time. The good thing this time is they had someone there.
It worked out much better this time.
That said, held up a sign that said done. And we went to them and they said, we're right out here. And they took us out there. I think our problem the first time was we got there later at night.
And nobody was there.
And nobody
to
was
greet
there
us.
to greet us.
And we didn't know where to go.
But we complained about that so much that hopefully they've changed it.
Yeah, this year it was really nice. So
Yeah,
I
so
would
it was
go
better.
with Roberts again.
Miscellaneous stuff. Now this includes food, souvenir, Cokes. I mean, just anything we bought that wasn't part of a package was $1,456.19, so $1,456. So that's the price that's going to vary per person so much, because it's going to, you might spend a lot less than we do on food and stuff like that, included all our meals and everything. So our total for this trip was $14,290.49. That was for a 7-night stay in Hawaii
3 people.
for 3 people.
3 people.
So roughly $5,000 per person.
I did not spend, like last year when we went, I bought all kinds of souvenirs for like
And food.
the grandkids and for Anna and Christina and stuff like that. I didn't do that this year.
Yeah, we bought a lot more grocery type stuff then too.
Yeah, bought a lot of groceries. This year I didn't do that just because prices were so expensive on groceries. And
there really wasn't anything we saw drastically we wanted to try, honestly.
no, anything that I wanted, if I wanted to try, just like at It's Sugar, we spent like $88 at It's Sugar. I bought everything I wanted to buy, so it's not like I'm missing out on anything, but there was just a lot more to buy last year because we hadn't tried a lot of things.
Right.
Whereas this year I saw a lot of things that's like, oh, we've tried that, we've tried that, we've tried that.
No.
And
that price could be a lot cheaper. That $1,456, you could probably cut that in half if you go to more budget friendly places to eat. Like if you ate it, you're going to get your big meals at your luau's and your shows and stuff.
Yes.
If you wanted to go to McDonald's and Burger King or whatever and eat,
Right.
Denny's or whatever, and eat regular smaller meals, then you could probably cut that price in almost half.
You could cut your price a lot just by not getting Cokes, by not getting soft drinks.
Yeah.
If you got all water,
ridiculous.
But we were on vacation. That's something that when
We enjoy.
when we're here at home, usually I get water. So when we're on vacation, I want
You're
to
talking
get a
about the
Coke.
restaurants.
Yeah, I want to get a Coke.
I was thinking about just getting the Cokes in general at the ABC stores, which are $4 a piece.
They were expensive.
They're cheaper out of the vending machines if you can find a vending machine.
During the souvenir haul, there was one thing I didn't show because I left it in the luggage. I forgot. At Paradise Cove, Kevin told you they gave us a card with money on it. You can combine your cards. So Kevin got one, I got one, Ashley got one, and they each had like $16 on it. We could all combine that, and
so we got 2 Cokes with it,
which were $4 a piece.
Right, for a little bitty cups of Coke. It was ridiculous.
But then there was money left on it, and Ashley said, I don't want anything, because I would have been
I didn't want anything.
You get what you want, but she didn't, so I got a t-shirt. That's what I got. I had to put $7, I think, of my own money, but I forgot to show that in the souvenir haul. But I basically got 2 sweatshirts
and a
t-shirt, and that was what I got. I don't think Kevin got anything.
I didn't buy anything. No. Souvenir wise. No.
And then Ashley didn't get anything with Hawaii on it.
No, she bought some
she bought clothes,
some dresses that she could wear anytime.
Yes, anytime, which I think is great.
Yeah. So I think it's funny though. Put this in perspective. This is 3 people to Hawaii for 7 nights. Mm-hmm. With all the different shows and everything we did, which I think we did a lot more shows than what most people would do.
Yes, I do too.
So we spent $14,000 basically. Disney, for just me and Tammy for Disney, and I don't think we stayed 5 or 6 nights.
No, we didn't stay as long.
It was $8,000.
Yeah.
So less than half of this cost. You could double the Disney cost up, and you would still have more spending money than you would going to Hawaii for 3 people.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
that's how much Disney prices have gone up. It's gone up a lot.
Yeah. So you add another $3,000 or $4,000. Well, 2 people. If it's just been me and you, think about it, there's $2,000 less for plane tickets. Now we're down to $1,200.
The room would have been a little.
The room would have probably been a little bit cheaper, not a lot, but a little bit cheaper. The spending on food wouldn't have been as much because
all those shows you're talking about.
And all the shows you're talking about one less person. So 2 people going to Hawaii, I bet you would have been pretty daggone close to the same price as going to Disney for a less time.
Yeah. So
just think about it.
Yeah.
If you're thinking Hawaii is too expensive for you, price out a Disney vacation right now.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. I think you might be shocked, to realize that.
Yeah, compare the 2 prices.
It's going to cost you pretty much the same to go to Hawaii as it does to Disney, which is, it's a shame.
Surprising.
It's very surprising.
Very surprising to me. And almost a shame because Disney, Hawaii is supposed to be the luxury, dream vacation, and Disney's supposed to be family fun.
Yeah, but
they price
has
themselves
become
up.
The luxury
vacation.
vacation.
They price themselves so high nowadays that it is a luxury vacation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It very much is a luxury that a lot of people have been priced out of it.
Yeah, never be able to go.
Yeah, but I'm glad that we went to Oahu again. I'm glad that we went to even though it was the same island, we stayed in the same hotel. We ate at some of the same places.
Still would do the same thing again.
I'm very, very happy that we went.
Yeah. Ashley said something to somebody that was really good. He said, "Did you have a good time?" And she goes, "I actually enjoyed this time better because I was more familiar with my surroundings."
I like that too.
And that's true. Just like Disney, when you go the first time, you're kind of stressed out about what you're doing. After you've been once, you go the second time, and you're like, "Yeah, we know where all the rides are. We know where the places we like to eat are. We know how to get around."
You feel comfortable.
With Hawaii, we felt more comfortable just doing it, just going, and not stressing about
and she's
getting
a
places.
Good travel partner, I think.
She is. She's pretty laid back. And we would say, "What do you want to do?" And she goes, "I don't care. Just whatever. We can do whatever."
Yeah, we're all kind of easy to get along with, I think.
Which sometimes is frustrating because we're trying to make a decision. None of us want to decide.
None of us want to decide, so that can be just as frustrating as anything. But I do think we had a good time. Somebody's going to ask me, where are you going next? Where are you going next year? Or where are you going later? I don't know.
Yeah. Don't have any specific plans to necessarily travel anywhere. But
yeah, we may or may not go.
Got to save up money now.
Yeah, really. Yeah, we've got $14,000 that we need to put back in the bank. But thank you to everyone for watching the videos.
I hope you enjoyed
greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it because we enjoyed being there and filming it for you. So we'll see you next time.